Hi, I'm Mike, owner of the In Groove in Phoenix, Arizona. Today I'm going to do a review of the new Blue Note Third Man Records 313 series titles. These are the first two in the series to be released. That is Thad Jones, New York Detroit Junction, and Electric Byrd, Donald Byrd. I think when these came out, everybody was taken back. Almost a $40 Third Man Records Blue Note reissue. Like, why would we have another Blue Note series? We've got Tone Poets, all analog, cut by Kevin Gray. They sound amazing. We've got Blue Note Classic, all analog, cut by Kevin Gray. They sound fantastic. What the hell do we want Third Man doing a series for? I was a little skeptical. I announced them as a pre-order in a video a couple of weeks back. But some information came out a couple of weeks ago that they were going to be all analog. Well, today they finally showed up, and I figured I would listen to them, review them, compare. I do actually have an original, the most Stoneman original you'd ever find of Donald Byrd's Electric Byrd. I actually opened this from a sealed copy. So it has been played a couple of times, still in the shrink, a very notoriously difficult album to get and keep clean as well, because it had that mediocre black cardboard cover. Anyways, I was a little, I think a lot of people were like, Third Man, I don't know. Not known for audiophile records, not known for making audiophile quality vinyl. So cleaned them, brought them home. The first thing I can tell you when I got them and I took them out, and I'll kind of show you here. Let me show you with this Thad Jones New York Junction. The quality of the covers is fantastic. They're not gatefolds as of yet, these first two, but they're thick tip-on covers. They come with a polyline sleeve. So here is the polyline sleeve that it comes with. But it is a spot gloss cover. They did a great job. I love this cover. It's not true to the original, but let me try to slide this shrink off a little bit and show you guys what I'm talking about. You'll kind of see that the writing, the black on this, is actually a gloss. It's a spot gloss. Really nicely done. Now on the Electric Byrd, they did the exact same thing. So when I was looking at it, I'm like, wow, these are really well done. They feel solid. The covers are nice. I'm looking at them and thinking to myself, I hope these sound pretty good. Hype sticker mastered and cut by Warren DeFever from the original analog tapes. So it turns out Blue Note actually did send these tapes to Detroit to have these records cut, and Third Man is capable of cutting all analog records. I'm not really sure who Warren DeFever is. Not a name that we talk about here online very much. William DeFever. So, I didn't really know what to expect. So the first thing I do, like with all of my records, and let me show you the Donald Byrd. I'll kind of show you the spot glossing on that. One thing I will say, some people may or may not like. I really don't care, because if it's an original, if you have an original, you got an original. If they modify something in the future like this, they make a blue label turn yellow. This is kind of typical Third Man. That doesn't bother me because I have the originals, right? So that doesn't bother me. And the cover, I think, is a kind of nice little spin on the original, being that it's a real deep black, and then the lettering and the graphic is actually spot gloss as well, right? Polyline sleeve. Again, really high quality sleeve. So first thing I do, we're giving you the play-by-play review. First thing I do is I crack them open and I clean them. Records are filthy. No doubt about it. They needed ultrasonic cleaning. They were covered in dirt. Polyline sleeve, they were filthy. They just were. They were dirty. You're going to have to clean these records. I don't want to hear any of that. Well, it's a new record. It shouldn't have to be cleaned. New records are made in dirty factories. Some need to be a little more clean than others. The certain factories, Sony Japan, RTI, QRP, have pretty relatively clean records out of the jump. This is not the case with these two copies. So, cleaned them ultrasonically, took them home and played them. Put on Donald Byrd first because, I think this is a much better album. Donald Byrd was recorded by Rudy Van Gelder. It's in a different sonic league as the Thad Jones, which was one of the pre-Rudy Van Gelder recordings. It was done at Audio Video Studios. I believe it was a New York studio. A lot of the Blue Note stuff, I think a Clifford Brown Memorial album, there was some stuff that was done there pre-Rudy Van Gelder, early in the 1500 series. I don't actually have an original of that, though, to compare it. One, I'm missing a few 1500 series titles, and that is one of them. not easy to find, not cheap, and when you do find them, they are not typically in good shape. And I don't like to buy whipped records. So I knew to go to the Donald Byrd first because that was going to be the telltale. Put it on, and man, I'm blown away. Like, wow, this is really good. It's not Kevin Gray good. Kevin Gray, in my opinion, it's like if you don't have a Rudy Van Gelder cut record, or Rudy Van Gelder is like your next best. I think to me at this point in time, Kevin has elevated the Blue Note catalog to a different level. Short of Kevin Gray, all analog masterings, my next overall choice would be Rudy Van Gelder stuff. Phenomenally recorded. Obviously, we love his mastering. In the jazz world, nobody says, "Yeah, I really don't like a Rudy Van Gelder, mastered record." That's not a thing. You don't hear that. But I think at this point, Kevin Gray has taken that to the absolute next level. But I gotta say, so they're not Kevin Gray cuts by any stretch of the imagination. But this Electric Byrd was really, really good. The vinyl was actually quite good as well. After I cleaned it, there was a little bit of noise, but I played it a couple of times, and actually I feel that noise kind of subsided a little bit of popping. Very, very slight. Nothing that would be any more than the original would have. It's not uber high-end audiophile, RTI, really quiet QRP. It's not that, but it is every bit as good from what I listen to as, like, for instance, an optimal pressing. It was Palace pressing. It was in that, it was really a good quality sounding record. I'm kind of blown away by that. I've not had a lot of experience with buying records from Third Man that played as quiet as this one did. But that would not have been the case had I had not ultrasonicked it, because it was visibly dirty. It looked like somebody had been doing some white powdery substance off of the record. You know where I'm going? It looked quite dirty. Quite a lot of dirt on it. So went back and forth, back and forth. I guess I'll sum it up as saying this. I prefer the original, but it is so very slight. And I think it is impressive that Warren DeFever did this good of a job on the record. I mean, I'm sure somebody's going to correct me in the comments and say he's, the greatest mastering engineer of all time, and how could I have not heard of him? But I'll put it this way. I'm shocked that these are as good as they are. This is really close to a Van Gelder. The Van Gelder cut, the original, had it. Rudy just cut things in a very hot, aggressive way. And I think only Kevin has been able to build upon that. But I'll notice some of the brass, some of the horns, flutes, kind of come off on the Van Gelder cut a lot more aggressive. There's more bite to them. You can kind of hear the player leaning more into the instrument. You can kind of hear that spittle in the mouth kind of coming through the instruments. I think it just had a little bit more bite and grit, and I think I've come accustomed to wanting to hear that. The Third Man doesn't have that. It is very clean and detailed, but it is kind of a more mellow, uniformed sounding record. Not as dynamic, I felt, as the Donald Byrd, but we're talking very close and very similar, mastered in a very similar fashion. So I will say this, I looked online, and a clean copy of this, like in this shape, this is probably every bit of a $200 record, and mediocre copies of this seem to be going for around $75, $85. I really truly feel that the Third Man is a very viable option here. I mean, it is not that this record, the original, is better, but it is not leaps and bounds better than the original. So, I mean, I'm very impressed at what they're doing, especially because these are very difficult titles. Both of these are very difficult titles to get. And some of the ones coming up, the Mozambique title, very, very hard to get these records. So the titles they're doing have not been done to death. Most of them really haven't had the audiophile treatment. So it's kind of a good choice. The very fact that I didn't have a version of this Thad Jones record to show you guys and compare, kind of tells you that the originals aren't easy to get. Classic Records, I think, did it. But in general, these aren't very common records in the Blue Note catalog that have been done over and over and over again, like, Hank Mobley Six Ted or Blue Train or Moanin'. Some of those titles are like, war horses. They get done over and over and over again. But I'm super pleasantly pleased with this series, all in all. The packaging, the cover, the overall quality, hence minus the dirt. But this is a fantastic series, and it's a series that I don't think many people are expecting to be even remotely good. This is kind of in that upper echelon of audiophile jazz reissues, and on titles, again, that aren't easy to come by. So I think if you purchase any of these, you'll be pleasantly surprised. Again, though, the Thad Jones is not Rudy Van Gelder audiophile recording. I mean, it is more of what you would find typical of mid-50s jazz recordings. Not to the Rudy Van Gelder caliber. But yeah, I'm super pleased. They're doing these in a lot of variations. Splatterwax, indie exclusive color vinyl. I might even get the indie exclusive. But I will say, for sonic reasons, I think if you want the quietest sounding, blackest backgrounds, I would go with the standard black vinyl. In my experience, Third Man has a little bit better track record of pressing quieter black vinyl than they do color. Although there's some plants, RTI is one of them, that they've got color vinyl down to a science, and it's clean and quiet and every bit as quiet as black. But not every other plant is on the same is not in the same league as far as getting that down. But yeah, the new 313 series, Electric Byrd, a winner, man. That Club Mozambique is going to be absolute dynamite when that comes out. I'm so looking forward to that copy. But what is it, 5 total in this series? 5 total in the series. I got them online at the website, theingroove.com. I mean, like I said, you can get them other places. But it's something that I have online. It's in stock. It's ready to go. All right, guys, check us out online, theingroove.com. Until next time.